life update time, because I literally have not posted a video in so long. I've been quite slack with my Instagram. I've really been trying to get content out that is informational and worth your while seeing. However, my life has literally done a flip side. So I thought, what a better way to start a consistent YouTube routine with a life update, because genuinely I've had such limited time to vlog, to film things, to do all of that stuff given the past 3 weeks that I've had. Let's rewind to the end of January. Stephen was in the country. It was a week before February started, or a little over a week, maybe 2 weeks. And we received some really good news on our business visa. We were told that we were able to book in our interview appointment. So I went on to the USCIS website, I booked in my interview, and I had a date locked in for the 2nd of April. Each day I figured, 2nd of April is still a long way away. I'm gonna see if there's any cancellations each day. So every single morning I would log into the USCIS website and I would go to change my appointment and see if there was anything earlier. Couple days in doing that, a appointment for the 2nd of March came up. So, sorry, the 6th of March. And I was like, oh my gosh, jumped on it straight away, rescheduled my appointment for the 6th of March, and I just shaved off like a month of my waiting time. We had a friend who works at the Sydney consulate, the US consulate, and he deals with businesses. The more time that I'm outside of the US, the more we are losing out on money, of hiring on employees, of doing things in-house and not paying so much money for contractors. Right now, we are getting ripped raw by using multiple different facets when we can bring it all in-house. And so that loss of profit margin, that loss of income then poses, a problem to how much money we're making and therefore how much money the government in America is getting for our tax, for our business. So they actually were able to expedite our interview by a month, and I got my interview for the 2nd of Feb. So we're about a week out. I'm fretting because I'm just like, I've never been to an interview where I didn't feel confident or where I didn't feel like I knew what they were gonna ask me about. So this interview, they could really ask anything. They could ask personal, they could ask business, whatever. And at that stage, I knew that no one knew Apollo on Stage like I did. Like, Steve is obviously my business partner on the actual business, but he doesn't do the day-to-day work like I do. I am the sole person that knows Apollo and Sage the best. There is no one else that would be in a better position to sit down and get interviewed about our business. So that was a little bit of confidence booster thinking that. But again, you guys know I've had problems with visas in the past. I've had problems with just the American immigration system in the past. And I've had problems with really shitty immigration lawyers in the past. And luckily, we actually had a lady reach out to us on Instagram. Her name's Catherine. She's from Lulu Law. She was amazing. It just blows my mind that we would go out of our way to find so many immigration lawyers that we thought were great, high pristine, whatever, paid expensive rates for them, and yet the one that would actually work for us, the one that would actually lay out what options we have, and we would go down the route of the best option, given that we have multiple circumstances for me to be in the US, is the one that reached out to us on Instagram. Like, it just blows my mind that that's the case, and it makes me just want to open up my DMs so much more often, not for my benefit only, but for everyone else's benefit, of knowing maybe small business or businesses that aren't talked about as often because they do a better job, they care more, they actually want to see you succeed. So shout out to Leone Law, because you guys absolutely smashed this one out of the park. But anyway, got my interview for February 2nd. I practiced like mock interviews with my family and got to my interview. I was absolutely shitting myself. It was actually in Sydney, so I took the weekend and went down with my mum. Was asked every question under the sun, was asked multiple questions about my personal relationship with Steve, even though he is my business partner, how that's going to come into play, if I have intentions of staying in the US. And I thought I'd also just lay it out here. So Steve and my plan is to be here temporarily in the US to build our businesses, to develop them to a point in which they can be managed and run from another country. And then we're actually going to return to Australia and focus on the other areas in our businesses that belong to Australia, Southeast Asia, Europe, etc. So that's basically our plan. Our plan was never to stay and live in the US for the rest of our lives. It's just not what we have spoken about, what we decided. Definitely temporary. So having a business visa where it has a time limit on the actual time I'm here isn't actually that bad for us, because it fits into our criteria almost perfectly of wanting to be here, build out the business, straight away access to earning money in the US and to fulfilling a role in the US that I couldn't actually do if I was in a K1. I would have to wait another, however many months for me to actually get the ability to work in America. So that didn't work for us. The whole point of me being here is to work, to build out of businesses, but also to be with Steve. That's what happened there. Did my interview, it got accepted. They tell you on the spot it gets accepted. Funny fact, did you know that the E2 visa costs $5,000? Once you've been accepted, you pay $5,000 to the US government just to accept your visa. That's not on top of your lawyer fees. That's not on top of your moving fees. That's not on top of the actual fee for the booking that you did your interview. It is just $5,000 to accept your visa. Keep that in mind if you're wanting to get a business or investor visa in the US. So got that. We plan to move everything over in 2 weeks. So it was 2nd of February. I knew I was going over to the US. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to jinx anything. I am not superstitious, but I've had, like I said, problems in the past. Before, with just US immigration in general, I had the right intent. I am not hiding anything. It was never a case of me being, an illegal immigrant or even trying to be an immigrant into the US. It's just things that went wrong with old immigration lawyers that just blew up and made my case almost like a red flag to the government officials, which I understand. This is actually something I said to the officer who was interviewing me for my E2. I said, look, I know my process is messy. Like, I know that I haven't been able to get into the US on an ESTA because that was taken off me because I was there in COVID and my immigration lawyer told me this, and then I did this and I got an exemption and I got a 90-day extension, like blah, blah, blah. It's a whole thing. I said, I know it's messy, but I have the right intent. I'm here to do this. I'm here to do this and then return to my country. And he thought it was definitely clear in that sense of what I wanted to do and what I wanted to come back with. And it was not one point in my thing where I tried to keep any information out or denials. Like, I told him I have a partner that is in the US, and usually that would become a red flag because business and partners don't mix, in a sense that gives you true reasons to be in the US. If you are owning a business in the US and you're saying, I don't want to be an immigrant in America, but your partner's an American, that's a red flag. And I completely understand that, which is why I brought it up to him. Truthful, just straightforward. This is what I want to do. Yes, my partner is here, but this is why we're doing this here. Otherwise, we would have gone to Australia and done the same. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that happened. Leading up to me actually entering the US, I was quite nervous because I had a traumatic experience last time I tried to enter the US in 2020. Something that I didn't realize was as traumatic as what I thought until I actually got on my flight. I'm the best sleeper that I know. There is no one that sleeps better than me, and I will hold that accountable to anyone. Like, I just don't know anyone that could sleep in any position, in any way, with any noise as well as I do. And I didn't sleep like once on my flight over to the US. It was basically a red eye flight. So we're over the nighttime, wake up in the morning, we land at 6 a.m. And I didn't sleep at all because I was so stressed. I was in no wrong. The last time I actually had nothing that was a red flag or nothing that was ill intent of me entering the US. For some reason, just got someone who was very open about what they thought of me, what they thought of my situation, what they thought of me having a partner, and so on. I had never once lied or did not tell the truth to these people, and they obviously saw that it was during a time where there was very limited travel, and then also the fact that I had a partner there and I was on an ESTA, and they were thinking, again, I wanted to stay in the US. I wanted to become an immigrant of the US. I understand the reason for the strict entry laws. I do, because past happenings, in the US, like 9/11, things like that, they had to crack down on those things. I understand. My thing is just that I, again, had no ill intent. A few mistakes from my immigration lawyer and a few emails that they saw that cleared those things out to tell them I wasn't lying to them, to tell them that I was being truthful and this is what I was told and this is what I was told to do and whatever, to see my partner in, a time where I hadn't seen him for a year. So, traumatic experience. When I got to the border control area, I was asked a lot of questions, again, very truthful, taken to secondary interviewing. So secondary interviewing, if you don't know, is an area where they walk you to, they accommodate you to this mirrored room. So basically, if you're looking from the outside, it's just mirrors. Just this block with mirrors. If you're on the inside, it's like a soundproof. I feel like it's soundproof because you can never hear anyone, but when you're in there, it's so loud. It is this room that is basically there for them to ask questions, take you to 3rd, 4th, 5th interviews, get you swearing on oath about what you're doing there. You know, it's very full on. And secondary interviewing was the part last time where I was like, well, this is not normal. Like, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. Whereas this time I obviously knew what was happening. I was told anytime I entered the US after the whole Esther ordeal, I would have to go to secondary interviewing just so they can, again, get an understanding of why I'm here for this particular visit, what visa I'm on, and so on. So I got to that, I got called up, she asked me about my business, she asked me about my stay, she asked me about where I'm living, about my partner, about, you know, what kind of projections and things that, like, she asked a lot of detailed questions about our business. Basically just kind of, I think, scoping out how much I know about my business. I had 3 suitcases, which literally contained everything in my life. I got rid of everything prior to. All my furniture and things like that, I just gave them away. My parents aren't taking them, but everything else I just packed into my suitcases and took with me overseas. So I have 3 suitcases worth of things here. In your mind, you're like, yeah, that's a lot. But when you think about everything I've accumulated over my 26 years, or, you know, special monumentos, special things of mine that I'm like, yes, this is my life. 3 suitcases is nothing. Like, I went through my stuff maybe 5 or 6 times just to narrow it down to that. Anyway, we got here, it was snowing in St. George after a massive 2 days of travel. It was snowing in St. George. I settled in, I unpacked my stuff, and just really went and did the things that I missed. Like, I went and got a swig, I went to Chick-fil-A, I went and bought all of the pet stuff that I left behind because I wasn't able to bring pet toys or pet things, anything. I couldn't bring it when Lulu traveled, which I'll touch on in a second. But I went and bought Lulu a new bed, I went and bought Lulu a water container, a slow feeder, some food. We got Hobbs, we picked Hobbs up from a pet hotel that he'd been staying at for a couple of days just because his sister had to go off. She's usually the one that looks after him. And also her dog as well, Calvin, he's so sweet. So we gave them a bath and we just started living life. And we're just leasing at the moment. We have a leased house that Steve had previously. I guess we're kind of settling into this, but we would love to do something in the future, whether it's buying a house together or building somewhere we can basically call home for the next 5 years. So Lulu, prior to her flight, had to get a rabies vaccination. She had to be tested for rabies. I don't even think we have rabies in Australia. It's something they are so strict on quarantining coming in. But either way, Lulu's had to get a rabies vaccination and she had to be up to date with all of her other vaccinations. That is the only thing I had to do for Lulu. US has very minimal restrictions on bringing pets in. Obviously they have to pass medical tests and things, but that was done with our pet traveler company. What we did leading up, obviously they travel in a crate. They send you the crate prior to you get your dog adjusted to being in that crate, to understanding what the crate is. It's their home, it's their safe space, and so on. I started doing that like a year ago. You know what? I'm gonna push you back and I'm gonna sit down because I was thinking, oh, I'll just cook breakfast while I'm chatting, but I literally haven't touched anything yet. I'm just chatting. She got picked up by Pet Traveller. They took her to Brisbane Airport. She flew to Sydney Airport, and then they were taking her to a pet hotel for 2 nights. In that 2 nights, they get the checks done, everything, last minute checks, making sure that she's still healthy and able to travel. And then she flew out the next morning on the 23rd. She left at 11:30 a.m. and landed at 6 a.m. Once she got to LA, they put her in holding. I came and did a whole heap of paperwork stuff. It actually took like 3 or 4 hours. Steve does have a day vlog from this day.
Awesome. Oh my God. You've done a good job, babe. You've done a good job handling it all. She will be back in your arms here soon. I don't like that. I don't like that they bring her around a little crate. That's okay. It's okay. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. Come here. Hey. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi, sweetie. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. Hey. Hi. Hi. Hey. Yes. Hi, she's so excited. Hi. Let's go do Ease. Let's go do Ease. Oh my goodness, that's so much for you. You're in America, sweetie. That was so hard for you. I can understand why. Oh, sweetheart. You did it. And you're okay.
She doesn't even care about it.
No, she does. She's just like, oh my gosh, I'm out of that thing.
And then Hobbs and Lulu meeting for the first time.
Off the couch. Mom.
Come here. Come here.
You're a good girl. Can you share a little? Hey, go lay down. Hobbs, go lay down. Go lay down. Just a little timeout, okay? We're just getting a little bit too worked up. Lou was worried about you. She was worried about you. And listen, I'm the dad. I'm the dad.
I'm the mom.
Okay? Both of you guys, be good. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good boy. Good boy. Okay.
That's that with Lulu. Let's move on to the next thing. So obviously we are here for the next 5 or so years. In this process, we have some really big plans. I am in the process of developing up a fitness app and provide things that are really, really authentic to myself and my training. And maybe that might not work for everyone. It might not, my app might not appeal to everyone, but it will definitely appeal to the right people that I want to be training. And that I have, I guess, a forte and a niche in. I don't see my app, like I don't look at my app and think it's the next Sweat or think it's the next anything like that. I just want it to be there for people to train and be available to people to get outside of their comfort zone with their movement styles and to incorporate lifestyle into their training and to incorporate a little bit more relaxed food and nutrition. Like I really want multiple aspects of how I live, which I feel is pretty generalized, balanced, and healthy, into an app and express it and help others. So that's in the works. We also have a lot of plans for Apollo and Sage. We have a big sale for Apollo and Sage coming up in March. It's our anniversary sale. So Steve and I, when we first started Apollo and Sage, sat down and we went, we are not going to participate in Black Friday sales. We are not going to participate in Boxing Day sales. We are not going to participate in any random sale that comes up because we genuinely feel like our product should not be discounted that often. Like we love our product. We pay a lot of money to get our product developed, and we will be paying probably even more when we start using American manufacturers. So we don't feel the need to discount our products. We feel like it genuinely speaks for itself. We understand that not everyone has the type of money and the type of income to be spending higher price points on higher quality products. So we do want to make one sale available, and like you guys hearing it here first, we will only do one sale, and it will be our anniversary sale to celebrate the start of Apollo and Sage. We are unsure what it looks like exactly, how we want to discount things, or whether we want to bundle things up where, you know, if you spend over this much money, you can save $50 or $60 or $100, whatever it is. So it's discounted as a whole rather than as the product. But we don't know how we're going to do it, but that is the plan. March, it's going to be more towards the end of March, maybe mid-March. I'm not sure of the exact date yet. We're finalizing that now, and then we're going to start pushing that. We have men's boardies coming out soon, which is really exciting. Steve is planning, I guess, the push and the drive for that, so we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited. They are honestly some of the best men's boardies. It's basically a black and white collection, so it's a combination of black prints and white prints together. There's no colors in these drops. It's just 3 different types of pants, all different types of prints within the black and white color range. So really exciting. We have new women's stuff, which I've kind of teased a little bit, launching in May, so just before our American summer. Majority of our customers are American, so we are trying to base a little bit more our drops on that, given specifically that Australia is basically summer all year round. Maybe not for the southern states, but majority of our buyers are in places where it's summer nearly all year round. So we're going to try and cater a little bit more to our American market just with the drops and the releases. However, we will have obviously that Australian tie-in given myself, my upbringing. That is the plan for those two. I have some really exciting things coming up with Gymshark. I can't be specific about what it is. It will be in Australia, so I'm really excited to obviously head back home to go and fulfill that. They also just released that they have discount codes now full-time. So Gymshark's never been a company that did discount codes, only links, like affiliate links. And now they've offered discount codes to people. So you guys can use the discount codes to obviously get a discount, but also to support your athlete of choice, whoever you are using the code of. So mine is Morgan, obviously Steve's is Steve. Actually, I don't know if his is just Steve. It might be Steve C. I need to double check with that. I also am in the works of signing on with a company that I've been using their stuff for a while now. Absolutely love it. We'll see if that comes to fruition. If it does, I know you guys are gonna love it because they have some really good stuff at low prices, and I genuinely believe in their products. So that's exciting. Other than that, I'm sick. I'm fascinated with deer on the mountain, and I need to make my breakfast. But next video you guys will see of me will be a vlog because I have been out of commission for so long. I need to get back on the vlog train because I absolutely loved filming vlogs. I love even watching back on the vlogs and seeing that stage in my life, whether I was happy, whether I was sad, whether I was stressed, who knows. But that stage in my life, whether it was with Steve or not, where I was living, what I was doing, what my focus was, I love rewatching them. And I actually love the fact that our kids one day, Steve and my kids one day, will be able to go onto YouTube and watch what their parents were like. And I feel like that's a pretty freaking cool thing. So that's that. I'm gonna make some toast. Breakfast this morning is, you know what? I'll show you breakfast this morning. Let's just time lapse this next part because I feel like you're probably not gonna wanna watch me just making breakfast for the next 20 minutes. Mine, Steve's, BCAA's, Nana.